It's 6 o'clock. I will call the City of Allegan City Council meeting for Monday, July 13th, 2026 to order. Could I please have roll call?
Councilmember Clark.
Present.
Councilmember Westover.
Present.
Councilmember Walker.
Here.
Councilmember Canales.
Here.
Councilmember Hooker.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Hands.
Present.
Mayor Perigo.
I'm here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. If you are able, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Moving down to agenda item 4A is approval of the regular council meeting agenda for July 13th, 2026. Could I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve the agenda. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Moving down to agenda item 5A is approval of the closed session meeting minutes from June 8th, 2026. And it looks like Manager Joel Dye is going to pass those out. Gotta give it back. And when you're done, if you could pass them towards your left.
I'll make a motion to approve the closed session meeting minutes from June 8th.
Thank you.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. 5B is approval of the regular council meeting minutes from June 22nd, 2026. Can I get a motion to?
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Thank you.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Moving down to the next agenda item is agenda item 9A, which is a second reading and public hearing for ordinance 538 to amend sections 14-2 and 14-3 of the City Code of Ordinances and repeal section 14-10.
Thank you, Mayor. This item was discussed as a first reading at your June 22nd meeting. This ordinance is making some housekeeping changes to the section of our code that deals with licensing and permitted uses as it relates to marijuana-related businesses. When the city council first approved marijuana businesses back in 2019, we prohibited the temporary marijuana events. And then last year, the city council amended the zoning ordinance to allow temporary marijuana events. Specifically on private property that's at least 50 acres in size, so it could only happen at the Allegan County Fairgrounds. That was a request by the Allegan County Fairgrounds because at that time they were courting a trade show. That trade show didn't come to fruition. However, we did amend our zoning ordinance. And then most recently, the former Green Door Dispensary, which is located on Lynn Street, is being purchased. And that person reached out to us to inquire how they can get a license for that location. That had our deputy clerk and I look into the process. And we realized that 14.2 and 14.3 of the Code of Ordinances still had the lottery system in place, which is no longer needed because we already have an established process. So this removes the lottery process for new licenses. Now people can just come in and apply, and as long as they meet the zoning ordinance, they get conditional approval. Then they have to go through the whole state approval process. And then 1410 repeals the prohibition on temporary marijuana events. Any questions for staff? This does require a public hearing, Mayor.
All right, thank you. I will open the floor for a public hearing on the amendments to Ordinance 538. If you have any comments for this specific agenda item, please approach the podium and state your name and address. I am seeing no one here to comment on this agenda item, so I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing. All right, council, can I get a motion to approve the amended sections 14.2 and 14.3 and repeal section 14.10?
I will make a motion.
So moved.
All right,
Or I
thank
mean,
you.
seconded.
Yep, thank you. Is there any comments or questions from council to staff or any? All right, seeing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Says.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a second reading and a public hearing tonight to allow the placement of recreational vehicles on privately owned property in the central business district, which is our downtown zoning district. The Planning Commission received a request on June 15th from a local business owner requesting that they be allowed to permit recreational vehicles to be parked on their private property in the downtown as a way of increasing lodging opportunities in the downtown. The Planning Commission discussed this. They held a public hearing. They voted unanimously to recommend to City Council that you amend the zoning ordinance to allow this up to 3 spaces to be permitted for the purpose of overnight parking and occupation of recreational vehicles on each private property. They cannot be permitted on vacant parcels. It has to be an improved parcel. All recreational vehicles must arrive and leave with the lessee, so a private property can't go buy an RV, park it on their property, and then just rent it out like an Airbnb. No recreational vehicle may be parked upon the same location for 72 hours. They must be parked on improved hard surfaces. They must be parked no closer than 5 feet from any property line. They must be parked no closer than 10 feet from any structure or other recreational vehicle. And they must be parked on private property. Outdoor fires, grilling, or other similar activities shall be prohibited. All gray and black water shall remain in the recreational vehicle. No exterior drains are permitted. Portable restrooms shall not be permitted. And they should have, and the property should have to get a permit that approves each space, and it's renewed on an annual basis. When we discussed this on June 22nd, a couple council members requested a little clarification that.
Joel, could I have you pause just one second?
Sure.
Could I be excused from this item?
You are very good. Thank
Potential
you.
conflict of interest?
Yes.
Thank you, Patrick. Can I get a motion to excuse Councilmember Westover?
I'll make a motion.
Support.
Been moved and supported. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. All right. Now that Patrick is out,
I was just a little excited to get the
I
report
know.
done, so. Moving on.
we're rolling along.
At the June 22nd meeting, a couple council members requested some minor changes to just clarify some of the language. So we were clear that under subsection C, deals with recreational vehicles, parking shall be allowed in the central business district, zoning district, subject to the following requirements. Before it just said recreational vehicles, and then it went right into subsections there. Another clarification that was brought to my attention that didn't make it into your packet was a request that the limit of 72 hours per property, not per location. So C2C, no recreational vehicle may be parked upon the same location for a period of more than 72 hours. It was requested that that be changed to no recreation vehicle may be parked upon the same property for a period of more than 72 hours. So if you feel compelled to adopt this ordinance tonight, I would ask that you adopt it with that condition, that amendment, that be changed from location to period for C2C. Any questions for staff on this ordinance?
Well, you covered because that was the issue I had, was changing the location to property so that it could be covered more widely for the 72-hour period. And if it's going to be changed, if it's on record that it'll be changed from location to property in the wording, I'll be okay, but I don't like it the way it is currently worded. It's too much of a variance for abuse.
I don't understand under B4, parking within the front yard shall only be permitted within the season during which it would typically be designed for. I don't understand, what does that mean?
So you can't have your boat in the front yard during the winter. Can't have your recreational vehicle in your front yard during the, typically, I would say, winter as well.
Yeah, that typically, as Mayor Pro Tem Hands discussed right there, that recreational vehicles is a wide definition. It includes boats. And so that addresses people who just park boats in front of the garage year-round. During winter months, that's not viewed as an attractive,
Okay.
placement.
I got you.
And I believe that's what the Planning Commission was looking at when they added that language.
And then on 6, not more than one recreational vehicle or other vehicle over 1.5 tons. That's 3,000 pounds, that's like a sedan. Small sedan. What is that?
Yeah, I believe that deals with towing I believe that's right. That's in our current ordinance. So that's in the current ordinance right now.
Not more than one recreational vehicle or other vehicle shall be permitted to be located upon any residential property.
Yeah, we did not make changes to that zoning ordinance. That's in our current language.
Okay. Doesn't make sense, but it's not it's been there.
It's been there.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Any other questions for staff? No. Joel, did you have, I see you're
Nope,
looking up some.
I'm good.
Okay. All right, so I will open this up for public comment for ordinance 539 to amend section 31-486. If you have a comment, please approach the podium and state your name and address.
This is totally not why I'm here, but, hi, my name is Heidi Wolf. I don't live in the city of Allegan, but I'm an attorney that practices in the city of Allegan, and the question that I have in this wording is, it says for up to 72 hours on private property, but does that mean permanently, or are you gonna let people move it and come back? Because if you cite somebody under this section, I guarantee that that is something that's gonna come up as a lawyer who's gonna end up maybe dealing with this. I thought maybe that's a question you'd wanna consider. Sorry, I'll go sit back down.
Is there any other comments on this item? All right, seeing none, I will go ahead and close the public hearing. Council, can I get a motion?
I would make a motion to change 2C, to change the wording from same location to permitted property, change the time from 72 hours to 48 hours. And I also, in that same motion, would look to change, to add in 72 hours in the 30-day period. So no recreational vehicle may be parked upon the same permitted property for a period more than 48 hours during a 30-day period.
Can I get a second?
Yeah, I'll support that.
Okay, it's been moved and supported. Is there any other comments or questions amongst council that they want to share before we vote?
Well, this will only be on that part of it. We'd have to vote on the whole thing afterwards.
Yeah, I would just
Because
ask,
this is only
is his
voting on this
recommendation
change.
going to make it? Will that change it?
It's a two-step process. We're
Yeah.
making a change to it, so we got to do the first step, and then we'll,
Okay.
I just curious, like, why you want to change it to 48. I know we got a request to increase it, so I'm just curious why you're wanting to decrease it.
who would request it? Who would
I think
request
the request was to increase the number, wasn't it?
Yeah, like, they
The
wanted
hours.
4 days.
Yeah, and I think Peters just wants to decrease down
The
from
hours, yeah.
72 to 48.
Yeah, I was just curious why.
The reason is 72 seems like a long time for the intended purpose that they're talking about here, because they were talking about this was for people going on a winery tour, and I don't see somebody. 48 covers a full weekend, so if somebody's here for a weekend, so if they're here from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's why. Seemed kind of long to me. And the 30 days is because, yeah, I could see easily somebody doing the workaround. One workaround would just be I move from one permitted property to another permitted property. I guess that's gonna be semi-allowed with my adjustment, but it would be that on that one permitted property that they could only stay there 72 hours a month. So that then it's not, I just moved from this spot to this spot, or I went off the property for an hour and then I came right back on the property. Part of that is there is a lot of issues in some cities with urban camping. So I just wanna make it clear what the rules are, so people don't try to skirt the rules, and then we end up with blight from this. So that's my other concern was blight.
Mayor, I don't, I don't have a problem with the 72 hours, so I'd like to rescind my support.
Okay.
So,
I don't think we can do that.
Now we have to vote on it.
Yeah, we have to vote on it.
Okay.
Sorry.
no, it's fine.
You're fine. You always have you can always support something, but it's your final vote that
Okay.
counts. Is there any other questions, comments that we want before we vote?
I would say I also agree with, I mean, I don't have a problem with the 72, but I'd love the language of within the 30 days, because that could help with the abuse, as you noted, and I think that would actually cover it. And I wouldn't even mind the 72, because if that person is staying here for an event, who's to say they couldn't stay here an extra day to shop at the shops and eat at the eateries? So I kind of encourage that extra day, but that's just me.
No, I agree with that. I mean, and this is only for the central business district, and there's very few properties that are going to be able to even qualify for this. So, yeah, the 72 hours, I don't have a problem with. I do like the 30-day, but again, all ordinances have to be enforced for them to be successful.
Right.
And how successful are we going to be? So, all right, anything else down this way? All right, so we have a motion on the table to amend to 2C to 48 hours and to add 72 hours in a 30-day period. So all those.
Was it 72 or are you saying 48? Because my motion was for 48.
40,
so-
I said 2C for 48 hours, but also to add a total of 72 hours in a 30-day period. Is
Is
that
that
what
what
you
my-
said?
Okay, then, yeah, I
Okay.
must have said it wrong because I was thinking same amount on both, but we can just vote on it and then we'll move on.
Okay, because that's what I heard.
That's what I heard.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Aye.
Aye.
Motion fails.
So then I will make a new motion to change 2C to no recreational vehicle may be parked upon the same permitted property for a period of no more than 72 hours and for no more than 72 hours in a 30-day period.
Support.
Okay, so if I heard this right, to amend 2C to no more than 72 hours, and then no more than 72 hours in a one instance, and no more than 72 hours in a 30-day period.
Correct. And
Okay.
that instead of being location, it's changed to permitted property.
Okay, all right. Did you get that, Joel? Okay, all right. Okay, all right. Any other comments from council? All right.
I'm golden.
All right, and we got, I can't even remember.
Yeah.
All right, I'm like, where are we at in this one? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes.
Now you need a
Now-
motion to approve the ordinance as
Yes.
amended.
All right, now can I get a motion to approve ordinance 539 as amended to the 72 hours per permitted property and no more than 72 hours in a 30-day period?
So moved.
Support.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. All right. Moving down to 9C is.
Now you need a motion to reseat Patrick.
Sorry, I
Councilmember
forgot, poor
Westover.
Patrick's out there. I saw Chief get up and I thought he was sleeping.
A lot of motions for one item.
I'll make the motion to accept Patrick back into the meeting.
Support.
All right, it's moved and supported. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, welcome, Patrick. All right, now that we have our full council back, we'll move down to 9C, which is second reading and public hearing for ordinance 540 to amend section 20-2 of the City Code of Ordinances to allow for a 7-member City of Allegan Planning Commission.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, on June 22nd, you had a first reading on this ordinance. This is a request from the Planning Commission to amend Section 20-2 to have a 7-member Planning Commission. Currently, the charter calls for a 9-member Planning Commission. However, we currently only have 7 members. The City Council only has 7 members, so the Planning Commission feels that a 7-member commission is appropriate for them as well. Any questions for staff? This does require a public hearing.
All right, any questions for staff? No? All right, I will open up the public hearing for an amendment of ordinance 540. If you have a comment on this agenda item, please approach the podium and state your name and address. I am seeing no one here to comment on this agenda item, so I will close the public hearing. All right, council, can I get a motion, please?
I make a motion to change ordinance 540.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any council comments that, before we vote? Seeing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Moving down to 9D is a request to approve Resolution 26.21, approving a Brownfield Plan for property located at Babylon Road, Highland Road, and Wolcott Street with parcel numbers 51-200-016-01 and 51-235-004-01.
Thank you, Mayor. I will begin the report, and then we have the applicant, Patrick Kappinga, is in the audience. His consultant, Olivia from Fishbeck, is in the audience, and then we have the city's consultant, Felice and Vanderbrink. Lauren is in the audience as well. So if you have additional questions for them, they're more than able and willing to come up to the podium to answer them. This will be the second Brownfield TIF that the City Council has reviewed. The first one was for the River Ridge development located up off Delano, where 42 homes are being built right now. This is on property more locally known as the Girl Scout property. Last year, the city agreed to sell the property to Patrick Kappinga. As part of that sale, he would be constructing a new residential development to help with the financing of that new residential development. He is applying for a Brownfield tax increment financing plan. After tonight, if council approves this, it then goes to the state of Michigan for their final approval. So the state has the final approval on all of these. The idea, or the plan, is to create 38 new units at this site, 26 condos and 12 townhomes. The total investment is approximately $12.494 million. The TIF capture for the infrastructure as well as the lost rental rate for the townhomes is $5,797,000, or $5,797,075. The project that is not part of this TIF, but was part of the development, is that Mr. Kappinga has already worked with the Allegan Conservation District to transfer the lower lands that abut the Kalamazoo River to the Conservation District for a new nature area in our city. Just last Tuesday, I had the pleasure of attending a neighborhood meeting out there with all the neighbors to talk about what that nature area would look like, and the Conservation District was out there. So people are very excited about the nature area, I would say. With that, this requires a public hearing. However, the applicants are here if you have questions specific about their brownfield plan that was in your packet. I understand it was a couple hundred pages. This did go through the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority, which is an advisory committee of City Council. They met on Tuesday, June 23rd, to review this plan, and they made a motion to support this plan and forward it up to City Council, and that's why we're here tonight. Any questions for staff or the applicants?
Anything on this end?
The only question that has been brought to me about somebody who looked at this, is there going to be any phases? Do you plan on finishing any of the new units, condos, or townhomes first, second, or third?
Ask me that one more time.
So somebody asked me, which is coming first?
Condos.
The condos?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought there might be an answer, so I
Yes.
thought I would ask for them.
You bet. Anything else?
Anything else on this end?
What brownfield question?
Okay. Can I go on? Go ahead.
No, please.
All right, is there any questions on here for Mr. Kapica? No? All right, okay, thank you. And Will has Brownfield.
And we have the Brownfield experts in the room.
Okay.
Let's see. Well, for the local brownfield revolving fund, can you explain that? Who administers that? Is it through the city, or who's responsible for that?
I can handle this one, it looks like. Yeah, so that local brownfield fund, when we created our Brownfield Redevelopment Authority back in 2024 is when we started that process, and all through 2025, we created a local brownfield redevelopment fund as part of that. So when you look at this plan, the final 5 years of their tax capture on this development, that is the money that comes back to the city each year. It's how we move forward with the River Ridge development that was approved earlier this year, or earlier last year. This project, so you'll see that on page 49 of the council packet. That's also on the website for anybody that's at home or in the audience, if you want to go back and see how these packets are assembled. Each of those will come into the city, and then they're used by the city for property acquisition, improvements, et cetera.
Now, let me go to 49 here. But who actually administers that fund, though?
The Brownfield Redevelopment Authority will be the one that administers that, but similar how we have our other advisory committees set up, there will be with guidance from city council.
Okay. Now I gotta go back. On page 30, it says final reimbursement terms, affordability, compliance requirements, documentation standards, allocation of tax increment revenues should be established in the development and reimbursement agreement and approved Act 381 work plan. Is that work plan, it references Act 381, but is the work plan in here?
No, so the work plan, hi, sorry, I'm Olivia Selby, I'm a Brownfield project analyst with Fishbeck. So the Act 381 work plan will be a separate document that will go directly to the state that will have all of the different, sorry, I forgot the word, just all of the different,
It's the
just
eligible activities,
the
right?
eligible activities, all of the different, just pieces. It goes more into depth and into detail of the project. But that'll be a separate document that we'll finalize.
Okay. So then, that's not a part of what we're approving tonight.
Yeah, what you're approving tonight is the creation, more or less, of this TIF capture of 5.7, then that has to go into the state for the state's final approval.
Correct.
What the
yeah.
TIF capture happens is, right now, we're collecting taxes at this level. They're gonna invest 494 million to make this neighborhood happen. The eligible expenditures, which you saw in your packet there, the road, the storm sewer, the water, the sidewalks, the landscaping, everything that the city typically would be required to install if we were gonna grow, the developer is gonna install this. They're gonna go get bank financing, use their own capital on hands to build this neighborhood. And so, as the taxes grow, because right now that tax is here, as the taxes grow in that neighborhood, that growth then is captured through the system and then comes back to reimburse the developer for those eligible expenses. This is, again, no different than what we did with the River Ridge. We just approved our first, as you saw in the Brownfield minutes, our first reimbursement to the River Ridge. I mean, it was up to like over $1 million is what they're eligible for. We haven't collected $1 million yet in taxes, so they're gonna get the maximum amount of what we've collected, pardon me, of what we've collected. There's a lot of agreements between the developer then and the state. The state has the final sign off and say off on all of this, because the property taxes just aren't, as you know, the city of Allegan property taxes. We're like 37% of every property tax dollar the city collects stays at the city. We have to distribute, over 60-some% of those taxes to other jurisdictions. Those stay here. They stay with the developer, get reimbursed back for these investments.
And it's a 28-year reimbursement, right? That's what it backs into?
Yeah, so it'll be 23 years will get
23.
reimbursed to the developer, and then an additional 5 years into the local Brownfield revolving fund.
And that's just backed into that number, right?
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
And they only get reimbursed for actual expenditures.
Correct, yeah.
So I referenced what we did with River Ridge, we just approved it. All the invoices that had to come in, what, Felicia Vanderbrink did for us as the city, going through and just verifying everything and checking things off, and the emails going back between Felicia Vanderbrink and the developer saying, you didn't give me this canceled check, you didn't show me this, I need all of this because it's so much documentation, is what's covered, so.
Yeah.
The developer and Olivia will be working hand in hand with Felicia Vanderbrink, our consultant in the city. That's why it was important when we started this process back in 2024. I had city council approve us working with an outside consultant. So it's not just the city or city council flying blindly on this, but this is an arena where you really want to bring in the experts. And make sure, you have the right people at the table talking about this stuff.
Okay.
Right,
thanks.
yeah, so, just another thing to clarify is these are estimates. So Brownfield plans developers can get reimbursed up to 30 years, but what we're asking for approval on today is the 5.7 million in eligible costs. So that can get reimbursed. We anticipate up to 23 years for the developer. But according to the statute, they can get reimbursed up to 30 years. But they can't, the max TIF capture that they can capture is the 5.7 million that we're asking today, if that makes sense.
You good?
Thank you. Yeah.
All right. Is there any other questions from council? No? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and this does require a public hearing, so I will open up the public hearing for comments from the public for Resolution 26.21. Please state your name and address. seeing a rush to the podium on this, so I will go ahead and close the public comment. All right, council, can I get a motion to approve Resolution 26.21?
Motion to approve Resolution 26.21.
Support.
Been moved and supported. Any other comments from council before we vote? Seeing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. All right, here we go. The first public comment period of the evening. For any public comments for items not on the agenda, please approach the podium and state your name and address.
Yes, I'm Mary Coburn, and thank you for letting me have this opportunity. I guess I could say that my address is 330 Trowbridge Street at the Allegan Senior Residences, but I question that because I signed a lease to move in on the 28th of February and discovered almost immediately that it was unlivable. The entire HVAC system is above apartment 302 with a decibel level in the bedroom of 85. And the hallways in the third floor in the 70s. And I went immediately and asked them to address this. They said no one's ever complained before. I talked to the city and they said, see, the code enforcement. They've ignored letters from code enforcement. They've ignored letters from my doctor, audiologist. I had a lawyer. I inquired with Fair Housing. They've ignored it all. And finally, they had another apartment open, and they left it just sit open, even though they said they could offer it to us. It just sat. So I went to the Attorney General on the 3rd of June and said, this has been completely ignored. There are problems, and the problems go beyond my issue. And finally, I just heard on July 1st from some of the property managers. They said, just leave, Mary, you just leave. Like somehow I'm the problem. I'm the only problem there. And so I had talked to Gary Voss, and she said, stop Lone Rangering it. This is bigger than you. And that's when I gave Parker a letter with my complaint for the Attorney General. And Parker and Joel have been on top of things since then. And I've shared the complaint number with other residences because the issues are so much bigger than me. The carpets are filthy. There's all kinds of crumbling happening with the structure of the church itself. Apparently, there's some bed bug problems. I can't speak to a lot of this personally, and that's why other people are here today, too. There's issues with, apparently, maybe some electrical issues, certainly issues with the cooling system, and there's just a ignoring of concerns, a constant ignoring of concerns. And so I'm here today to say thank you to Joel and Parker for taking this seriously because it's felt like impossible to get any support around this. And I had gone in there because I had an accident where I was in the hospital for 10 days, and I thought it'd be a quiet place to recover so I could be close to the nonprofit office and close to the hospital. And it's been stressful and very unlivable. So I'm going to invite other residences to come up and speak. Thank you.
So my name is Teresa Morse, and I live at 330 Trowbridge as well. I'm in apartment number 101. I'm actually I'm not one of the original people who lived there because other people have, but I'm going into my 9th year living there. I've been a renter my entire life, so over 50 years I've been a renter. Private landlords, management companies. I've lived in Houston and Aurora and Fort Collins in Colorado, and worst management company ever. I live on the first floor, and especially in the last 3 years, things have gotten bad. But I live on the first floor, all the common areas. So that's the community room, which is the church, our hallway, the craft room, and the exercise room. The air has not worked in 3 years. It's going to be 99 tomorrow. It's in the 90s in my hallway, right outside my door. I have my air set at 75. It runs constantly because it's hot outside my door. We have bed bugs in the building. They didn't let us know they had bed bugs in the building. We still don't know when they're coming to debug the third floor. So, yeah, we're a little concerned. They have not, and that's been 30 days since I started hearing about bed bugs, so they have not addressed that. They spread. And then rents took a major increase 3 years ago, and each year since, they've gone up a lot. I'm paying $12.50 a month, starting this month. It was supposed to be based on income when I moved in. I don't think mine ever was based on my income. They took that website down. There was a website that said rents start at $900 to $1,000 something to live there. All the apartments pretty much look the same. They're all two-bedroom apartments. There's 2 one-bedroom apartments in the basement. They'll tell you random things like, this apartment is cheaper than that apartment. This, whatever, I don't care. They're supposed to be based on income. So yes, the rents should be different for every person that lives there. Not a problem. But when the rent started going up, Social Security and disability goes up 3% a year. Several people in the building, their rents went up 40%. Their income doesn't go up that high. I work on-call, so basically part-time anymore, because I don't have enough retirement to cover all of this. My rent and Medicare take my entire retirement, so I work part-time, basically. I'm the only one who probably has income that goes up and down a little bit based on how many hours I work in a year. Nobody else in that building has that luxury. They have whatever they have as retirement, and that doesn't go up. Some of them say, I shouldn't say that, I don't have a lease, I don't think that says that, but original leaseholders have leases that say their rent cannot go up more than 5% a year. They tell them, we don't care, that doesn't count. It is really dirty. They said they were going to shampoo the carpets this year. They have not shampooed the carpets. They haven't fixed the roof where all the tiles flew off this winter. They don't take the ice. Sorry, I think I ran over my time. They don't clean the ice in the winter. They bury our cars when they clean the parking lot, and we're supposed to dig those out. So I can't. I miss work every winter because I can't get out of the hole in the ground that I'm parked in.
Hi, I'm Jackie Thompson. I live at 330 Trowbridge Street, and I have been there 15 years. And when I first moved in, I loved it. We had beautiful white trees out in front and black-eyed Susans that were gorgeous. And they took the hoses and refused to let me water, so everything died. So I replanted things, and I carry 40 jugs of water a week out to water flowers and the bushes because they won't turn the water on. The carpets have been cleaned 3 times in 15 years. I've had cold water twice now for almost a month, and I was told you have to wait till the 18th when we get a maintenance person back in because we don't have one for that building. Our trash cans fill up and the floor is full of trash and it sets and it sets and it sets. We've had cockroaches, we've had bed bugs, and now we have bed bugs again. The church itself is falling apart. The stones that go out to the ramp are breaking down. They look like sand. The steps themselves are starting to crack and break. And in the wintertime, when you go down, I fell down in one winter and ended up with blood clots in my back, and they refused to pay for that. I had to fight to get them to pay for it. They just don't care. And you call and you say, look, I can't afford that rent. And I called this year and I said, I'm moving. I've got to. And HHI told me that because I'm totally disabled, I can get an apartment with them for $300 a month. But yet I'm paying $900 a month from this place that's supposed to be the same as HHI. It just doesn't make any sense. And you call, and like tonight I called Mary and told her that Bill, who lives down the hall, has the bed bugs, and he's moving things out of his apartment into the basement. And her comment was, you need to mind your own business. She just doesn't care about anything, and she's not nice. I told her the other day, you know, if you were nicer to people, you might get somewhere. We might be able to talk. but she won't listen. And I can't, I get $1,280 a month. My rent is almost $900, and I'm supposed to pay car insurance, utility, consumers. I can't make it. There's no way. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Cheryl Smith. I live over at 330 Trowbridge. I originally was making all kinds of phone calls, trying to get a lawyer, because I'm the one that got bed bugs. And I was really upset about it. She blamed my son. My son has MS and type 1 diabetes. He's in a wheelchair 24/7. So I had him move in with me, which I called them and told them that I was doing this. Once I did that, I said, okay, which really surprised me because they don't agree with anything usually. So he is with me all the time, and I forgot my train of thought. I know that the bed bug issue was a real problem for me. Last December, I had to do the heat treatment. Said I didn't want to mess with the other stuff. I want them gone. And they only found them in one chair that I had. And I can't figure out any other place in the place didn't have any, because I do my beds the way with the plastic around the mattresses, all the bed pillows and everything. So that really saved me, I think. But they did the heat treatment in December. They told me that I had to pay for the treatment. It was $1,500. I have paid $1,200 of it. She also told me you have to pay an extra $200 every month for that treatment. And if you miss, you get some more that you have to pay. So I called around, finally got to Joel, and thank you so much, Joel. You made me feel heard, I was having a really rough time. And so anyway, he says, I'm on it, and he's on it. But our manager is not a friendly person at all. She's very negative. Trying to hit all these things. And we had lots of issues with maintenance getting it done, but they just hired a guy that I think is going to do a really good job. He does things properly, not halfway done, or cheap. So I have high hopes for him. The air conditioning is not working for a lot of people, and I found out that the compressor is bad on the roof, one of them. So they just start fixing it because they don't want to put the money out. So I'm like, that's not right, and so many things, just like the rent going up. I make $1,276 a month. I pay $570. They made me pay $770 out of that money for my treatment for the last year. So it's crazy, I can't do that. Most people there are running into that same problem. We're senior citizens. We have fixed incomes, or, some people have some extra, but I don't. So the carpets have never been replaced. I've been there about 10 years now. And even inside the apartments themselves have not been replaced. They will do the hallways, they'll clean them, but they don't last. You see the stains come back up through. Bats. Yes. Bats in the belfry, we have them. They fly in there, and it's gotten really bad. Well, it's getting a little better now, but somebody tried to get up there and plug the holes, which they did, but it didn't last, and they started back, and I guess in June, that's when they fly around, and there's one of the gals actually will get them and kill them, she's not afraid of them, so, but we took pictures of all this inside and outside of that place, and Joel has them. They're pretty, aren't they? But this bat was up in our balcony and it was dead. And there's feces all over that they don't clean. And they say not to go up that area. You know, they got the door locked, but we pushed on it and went right in. So, of course, we went up there and took pictures. So that was one of them. And then the building is just falling apart, the church, and they're getting a tax write-off for this. It's so unfair. She is not doing anything. Everything she does makes sure she got the next penny you got, you know. They are just getting that money and they're doing what with it? We don't know, because nothing's been done there. And we're too old to do it ourselves, so. And like the winter, yeah, that's all icy all the time. People have fallen, broken their wrists, broken their arms. They don't pay for that. So, I don't know what else to say, so I think that's enough for now. I can give you a whole book if you want. But thank you very much. Thank you, Joel.
Could I add one thing?
Sure, come on up.
I have a gentleman that lives in 303 down the hall from me. He has 3 large dogs. We found out that 2 of them are not trained like he said they were. And my lease says, when I first moved in, that only small dogs were allowed. And she let the dogs in. For a while, he wasn't using a leash. She finally made him put a leash back on. But now he's throwing fireworks out the window. He has put a hole in the screen. And I have a video of him lighting the firecrackers, sitting on his bed, and throwing them out the window. And I took the video to the chief of police. Thank you.
So Joel, as far as this property, what have they received as far as, I don't know if Oprah's the right term, what have they received through this development?
So they have a pilot, payment in lieu of taxes, that was
Okay.
approved by the city council, I believe, back in 11, 12, 13. So over 10, 15 years ago. It is the 1% pilot, so they pay 1% of rents in lieu of paying property taxes to the city of Allegan. I will let council know, I've already shared with the residents in the room this evening. I contacted the actual owner of the project, not just the property management, but the owner, the people getting the PILT. The only way I could contact them was by just going to their website and filling out a contact submission form, and they responded that night to me to let me know that they were meeting this morning. They met this morning, and then he responded this afternoon, and we're going to set up a meeting. They said they never received the noise complaint from the city, so when Charles and PCI went out there to do the inspection, so I sent them a copy of that letter, showed them the address it went to, so they have that there. There's a lot of issues. Some of that stuff is issues I think the city can address through code enforcement, and some of them, unfortunately, may not be code enforcement issues. But we're going to listen to all the concerns that the residents have, and just go through this process like we would with any other property. One thing we always tell tenants is make sure you stay current on your rent, because that can get an issue. And also we encourage tenants in Michigan, there is a tenant landlord handbook that is a good resource for people. And then city council, as you know, you voted to give a few dollars to the Allegan County Legal Assistance Center. So if anybody in the city of Allegan, is looking for legal help and cannot afford legal help, there might be some resources at the Legal Assistance Center to, help with some questions or some inquiries. And I think that's at the courthouse, across the street at the courthouse, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And typically, I don't give reports during public comment, but
Yeah,
council, if you
I
have
mean-
questions, feel free to ask.
Yeah, all right, thank you.
Yep.
Is there any other public comment for this evening?
Good evening. My name is Heidi Wolf, and my comment is completely different. I came to introduce myself this evening and just let you know that I am running for district court. I believe you've met the other parties who have come out who are also running. There are 2 positions that are available this November. Judge Scotchless is retiring, and I'm running for that position. Judge Burnett is running for his seat. He's up for election. I am not running against him. I'm running for the vacant seat that's going to be vacated by Judge Scotchless. So I've lived in Allegan County my entire life. I was born and raised in Wayland, graduated from Wayland High School, and when I graduated from law school, my parents thought it would be super fun to turn their dining room into a law office, and I started my practice there. And fortunately, it worked out, and I was able to move out of their dining room and over here to the Allegan area, and I've been practicing in Allegan since. I eventually moved my family over here with me, and we've been living technically in Valley since then. I have 2 children who are now adults, and I'm still married to my husband, 32 years. We're still making it work. So I practiced in district court. I've done everything you can imagine that there is to do there. I've tried thousands of cases, misdemeanors. I've started felony cases there. I have done landlord-tenant issues, so feel free to look me up. I'm not here for that, though, just so we're clear. Civil cases under $25,000. The only thing I've never done is prosecute a case, because that isn't anything that ever really appealed to me. But I am familiar with the burden of proof because of civil litigation, helps you understand how burdens of proof work. I personally think that running my own practice has helped me understand the management of staff and how to work a budget. I've been doing that myself for an extended period of time. That is something that it does fall under the purview of the district court. And one thing that I'm particularly proud of in my tenure is that I did help establish the mental health treatment court along with Judge Scotchless when he came. That was something that was very important to him. And I was on the community action team that helped set that up, and then did donate my time for several years to work as the attorney in that capacity to make sure that that program became successful. So that really was the first specialty court that we had, and I worked on it for several years. And then I think the last time I spent any significant amount of time in this building was when the CAN Council was here. I don't know if you guys remember that Safe Harbor used to be the Child Abuse Neglect Council, and it had an office in this building, and I helped set up the CASA program, which was the court-appointed special advocate program. So that's just a little bit about me and my history. If you have any other questions or you want to look anything up, I have a website, and I'm on Facebook. But I really just wanted to come out and say hello and introduce myself. Thank you.
All right, is there any other general public comment for this evening? All right, seeing none, I will move on to the next agenda item, which is 13A1, and a review of the July 2026 Brownfield Redevelopment Authority meeting minutes.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll handle this one since no council member is appointed to the BRA. I am the staff person, and Tracy Stoll, our finance director and clerk, is also the staff person. They met on Tuesday, June 23rd. There was 2 items they had to accomplish with this. One was approval of the River Ridge reimbursement request, number 1, that I spoke about this earlier in this meeting. And then the second thing was the approval of a Brownfield Plan, a recommendation of City Council to schedule a public hearing for the Allegan Development Company, which you had a public hearing on this evening as well. I will note that as part of the River Ridge redevelopment or reimbursement agenda item, they made a second motion to approve staff to review and approve all reimbursement requests regarding the River Ridge moving forward, so we don't have to keep going back to the BRA for it. And we'll do something similar with the Allegan Development Company. The first approval will be done by the BRA, then they probably will make a similar motion.
All right,
And that's what happened at the BRA.
is there any questions?
I'm a little concerned that the BRA isn't doing their oversight duty if they're just blindly approving all future reimbursement requests. Kind of a lack of the oversight that they're supposed to be providing. So, I don't know, I'm a little uncomfortable with that, but that's just myself, so.
Moving to 13A2 is a review of the July 2026 Airport Advisory Board meeting minutes and Mayor Pro Tem Hans.
Yep, all right, so we had our meeting, there wasn't a whole lot on the agenda. Approval of our last, we reviewed the runway rehab project, which is still being processed. There are some delays on that due to some stuff, money having to be in the right position, so that may or may not still happen this year. We got an update on the fly-in, there was a total of 30 planes that flew in. Overall, was a good feedback from the members on the board. Quite a few of the members on the board also came out and volunteered at it, so it seemed like overall a good event for the first go-around on this. I think this is the first time we had a fly-in since my son was like 5, so probably 10-plus years now, 10 or 12 years that we haven't had a fly-in out there. And first year, it seemed kind of good to get 30 people. A little update on the gas pump again, because there's always issues with that. So I think they've changed the hose and everything's working now, but that's about it.
Okay, thank you. 13A3 is a review of the July 2026 Downtown Development Authority meeting minutes, and I will take that one. The main topic of discussion was the signage, and which council is aware that this was budgeted in the annual budget for, I think it's $99,000 for another phase of signage in downtown. And we have since learned that was approved in the budget. This will move forward. We got an update on the Main Street Match grants, and this year Allegan did not receive any Main Street Match grants, so that was kind of a bummer. But that is what it is. And then a construction update was given. And I think that was pretty much it. Okay. All right, 13A4 is review of the July 2026 Public Spaces Commission meeting minutes and assistance.
Yes, I will cover this one. The Public Spaces Commission was pleased to know that the City Council had approved the purchase order for the rehab of the columns there on Western Avenue to match the work that was recently done on Arbor Street. That's been something that this board has talked about for several years now, so they're glad to see the second set of columns get the same love as the others. The Wreaths Across America event that took place back in December will return again this year. The date for that is December 19th at Oakwood Cemetery. It was a wonderful event. It was very, very snowy this past one, so we're hoping for a little bit milder weather, but if you're able to make it there, highly encourage you to attend. Jeff Morey and I also updated the group on a handful of trees that are either dead, dying, or overgrown and are going to get some treatment, hopefully this fall, and replaced next spring. And again, a construction update for this group too. And lastly, the board gave some heaping praise to Corey Belden, Public Works employee, who was tasked with getting the flower boxes back on the Iron Bridge after a couple of years. And the board remarked that they're looking lovely. And he had to battle some birds that didn't like the flowers too much, but he's succeeded so far.
All right, thank you. All right, let's move down to 13B1, which is a request to approve PO 27-0863 to Axon Enterprises in the amount of $11,904.30 for the purchase of 9 tasers as part of a 5-year contract, and this is a budgeted item.
Correct. I'm going to invite the Chief of Police, Jay Gibson, up to the podium to go over this request.
Yes, as stated, 9 tasers. Our tasers are very out of date. Some of them aren't receiving firmware anymore. We have to download firmware on them, update them. And I had been putting it off because I knew the expense but we're at the point where we do need the tasers. They are currently in the budget that you all approved. Is there any questions that anybody has for me regarding these?
I don't have any. Nope. I don't see any. Good, thank you.
Thank you.
Just real quick, it was in the packet that Jay provided, but I needed to remind myself, this is an annual 5-year contract, so you're gonna see the exact same PO next year. So I don't want you guys to, be surprised and say, didn't we just approve tasers? So it's a kind of a contract, so you'll see another 11,904.
All right. All right, can I get a motion to approve PO 27-0863?
I will make that motion.
Support.
Been moved and supported. Any comments from council before we vote? No. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Moving down to the next agenda item is 13E1 is a request to approve accounts payable and payroll, and Mayor Pro Tem Hance will take this one.
It is requested that the city council approve accounts payable in the amount of $686,890.15 and payroll in the amount of $145,351.88 for a total disbursement of $832,242.03. Motion to approve?
Support.
It's been moved and supported. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Moving down to next agenda item 13E2 is approval of auditing services for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2026.
Thank you, Mayor. Each year, we have to have an audit done of our finances. Siegfried and Crandall has been our auditors for the past several years. Plan is they're going to be here, I think, in the beginning of September is when they'll start to audit our finances from fiscal year 26, and then we will have them present to you in October or November. It's how we've done it in years past. The total cost is $27,600. This includes $5,000 in case we trigger a single audit. If we receive more than $750,000 in federal funds, we have to do a separate single audit. So that is in there just in case, which we budgeted $25,000. So we're gonna have to do a budget adjustment of $2,600 if we trigger that single audit threshold. Any questions for staff?
Only one, are we gonna put out like an RFQ next year, seeing that their rates have gone up, just to see kind of what because I only see one proposal here, so I'd like to see probably something in the future, just to see if we're still in.
Yeah, I think that's something, if city council would like us to look to go out to bid for next year, that's something we can go out to bid. I would offer, there is always a benefit to having someone who's familiar with your organization, but it's always good to see what's out there still.
Also good to have a fresh set of eyes.
Agree.
All right, can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any other comments from council? No. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. 13E3 is a request to approve the permit for recreational vehicle parking in the Central Business District zoning district form and establish a fee for the permit.
Okay. Councilmember Westover, do you want to excuse yourself again?
Yes, please.
All right, can I get a motion to?
Motion to excuse Councilmember Westover.
Support.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I don't know who would ever oppose, but.
You gotta stay.
All right.
All right, earlier this evening, City Council, you adopted a new ordinance to allow private properties in the Central Business District the ability to offer up their property for recreational vehicles. As part of that ordinance, a form had to be created, or a permit had to be created, In your packet is that permit. This is very similar to our other permits for like keeping chickens, et cetera. So it's not too crazy. We will have to update this permit, if I'm not mistaken, because I believe you guys made changes to the,
Yeah, we just got to change, I think, like, item number 4.
yeah, the no recreation may be parked, and we'll do that. So if you're comfortable with this, what we'd like you to do is just make one motion approving the permit with the change that it conforms with the adopted zoning ordinance.
Okay.
Would be the first motion you would make.
Okay. Is there any questions of staff about this?
And just to be clear, we're going to discuss a fee after this.
Okay.
This is just adopting the form.
Form.
Gotcha.
So I'll make the motion to adopt the form with the updated language to match the ordinance.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Any comments? No? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Now to talk about the fee.
So in the staff memo, I shared with you that this permit is best considered a land use permit. Currently, the lowest land use permit fee we have that the city charges is $25. This is for fences, sheds, temporary signs, keeping of chickens, and a minor home business. I understand that during the discussion at the Planning Commission, as well as I believe at your first reading, there was comments shared by the public that they would like it to be a $0 fee. This is a decision for city council to make. I just needed to provide you the information. So right now, it is $25 for all other kind of land use permits.
I mean, there is staff time with this, so, and it's in alignment with our other fees, so I'm fine with
Yeah.
with the 25.
I'm fine with it. I was gonna say 25 a night.
Well, this is a
But-
one-time
This
for
is a
them.
Yeah, this is the annual fee.
Oh, just the
Annual
annual?
fee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't get anything from them using it as that.
Yeah.
Gotcha, yeah.
It's just the annual fee for them to, in essence, fill out the forms, us
So-
to accept the forms.
Yeah, we should get something.
And if all other land uses, including chickens, require us to do this, because in essence, as part of the forms that they would have to at least indicate where they're gonna have this parking areas and the spots so that they meet the requirements similar to the chicken ordinance? Because that's a land use one. where
Yeah,
we-
so that's in the ordinance. Yeah, it says that we have to approve the spaces, so yes.
So this would be the application. I'd assume that they'd have to provide some sort of drawing or something for us to review.
Correct.
And that's why we're charging $25. We gotta review it. If it fails, to say this is why it failed, try again.
So can I get a motion to approve the fee of $25?
I'll make a motion to approve the fee.
Support. Been moved and supported. Any other comments from council? All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. 11E4 is a review and discuss.
Can we get a motion to
Oh,
let Patrick come
sorry,
back
I
and join you?
forgot. All right, can I get a motion to bring Councilmember Westover back?
So moved.
Support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Hey, welcome.
All right, now we will discuss 13E4, which is a review and discuss the wayfinding program in the city of Allegan.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm not sure how far in detail the city council wants to go, but at your last meeting, you'll recall, we did have some discussions about wayfinding signs, specifically downtown vehicular and downtown pedestrian signs and a purchase of them thereof. During that discussion, I felt that city council just needed to be reintroduced to the wayfinding program. So we sent out the document after that meeting, and then again, as part of this packet. So you were able to dive into it and really kind of digest what this full wayfinding program is about. Any questions about the overall program and the direction, how we got here, the thinking behind what signs we were purchasing first as opposed to what signs we're purchasing second, et cetera?
Well, I think we should review the order, what's left, and I think we should revisit that.
Yeah, and I would agree, I would advise that's probably a good thing for this council to take a step back. On July 22nd, which is next Wednesday, city staff will be meeting with Abinmarsh for a day-long deep dive into our capital improvements for the upcoming next years. And just seeing where, what are the needs, where we're landing. I am going to recommend that after that, we probably schedule a workshop meeting for council, probably on a Saturday, to dive into all the capital stuff. And I think this could be part of that discussion on, a Saturday. There's a handful of signs that are left to be done that the DDA funds could be used for. But after this, we get out into the larger community. There is there's been some discussion amongst some council members to do some kind of electronic sign that's not part of this program, but you've seen in other communities. I think it would be good to have that discussion. And then the larger community support for these larger signs. As you can see on the screen here, the sign that's on the right side of the screen, that's a gateway sign, 6 feet high, 20 feet wide in length. It's very substantial. The plan shows a sign going in the middle of the roundabout. MDOT has already informed the city they will push back against that at every step of the way. They didn't say that we can't do it. They just said they're going to push back at it. So we'll see where that conversation goes. I'm sure if we Google, we can find other roundabouts in the state of Michigan that have signs in the middle.
A lot of them have public art, so can we just call it public art?
We could probably just call it public art. But this is one of the reasons why your packet was 348 pages, is because it included, this document as well as the Brownfield document. So I didn't expect you to be able to digest all of this between, this going on Thursday and then, this evening.
And I second readdressing the order of the signs and what the priority is. Personally, when the budgets come back up for the DDA, I'm going to probably be pushing back on it and saying some of this has to go into these roads that we've been investing in. There's some of it went into this, but the large chunk of their budget was for these signs, which I just don't see them being worth the $100,000 personally for those particular signs. I think some of the outer perimeter signs, some of those have a higher priority in my site. That's why I'm okay with, let's look at and see which ones we want to prioritize. The parking lots was an easy start. That was one to just try. That's what that was originally was. And these other ones are like, they're not really pointing to businesses. They're just pointing to parks. I'd prefer to kind of have something on the exterior to try to get people to come into the downtown than ones on the interior that just show you where stuff is. But that's my priority. I'd like to hear other people's input on it and what we think the best bang for the buck would be. And
I would agree with that completely because, you can pass over by Harding's and not see, you just pass right by. I mean, you can see it, but there's an opportunity there. You can pass by the bridge and go right past it. And there's really nothing apart from the old mill yarn shop. They've got a sign there that they paid the state for. There's nothing, if we could have something and just to try to get people to come in, more so to shop the businesses and the eateries, I think that would benefit us greatly.
Yeah. Currently, Councilmember Clark, you focused in on Water and Grand. We do have that black sign out there that says Downtown Allegan Shopping Restaurants with an arrow that replaced the old faded blue and orange postcard signs is what I call them, because they look like old postcards with the script that said Downtown Allegan. And on page 218 of your packet, You can see that's a map that will come up, shows the location of a new downtown sign at that location. So the plan really calls for that. And I think it would be good for us to, like I said, put this onto a workshop discussion for you, because then we can dive in, because I'll zoom in on that and say it's DVD-UPS something, something, something. But then we go further in the document, and it shows you what that exact sign is, the exact typeface, the exact messaging on it. So I think that'd just be more beneficial if we do that in more of a workshop meeting that's still open to the public. So the public can still attend those meetings. The downtown, authority members can attend those meetings if they want to show up and give their 2 cents during public comment part of it. But it allows us to really roll up our sleeves and work around something.
Yeah, I like the workshop so we can dive into it, because I'm like, right now it's like the chicken or the egg. If you have them on the outer but not on the inner, they get here and then they don't know where to go. Because I have had people share with me that have businesses downtown, they get asked all the time, how do I get to the riverfront? Well, now we're gonna have signs that say the riverfront. So, I don't know, I think that deep dive into this and kind of setting some priorities will be good.
All right, and that's the direction we'll go, if that's okay with the rest of the council.
Sounds good.
But I have nothing else to talk about tonight regarding this.
Yeah, all right. Go ahead, sorry.
If we could just have a selection of Saturdays to choose from, that'd be good too. Thank you.
13E5 is a request to purchase 201 Race Street for $13,150 from the Allegan County Treasurer.
Okay, so this property should not be new to city council. Over the past several years, we have dealt with code enforcement issues at this house. We went and got an order to demo it. We then went and asked city council, I believe it was at your October 27th meeting, to approve a $20,000 purchase order with Ace Excavating to demo the house and garage at this site. Due to some scheduling issues with Ace Excavating, they did not get to the demolition until April of 2026. When we had council approve it, you can go back and watch the video. They're stored on our city's YouTube page. I shared with council at that time that the way these work is we put the cost on the taxes, and then if they don't pay their county taxes and it goes to tax foreclosure, we don't get reimbursed for this $20,000. This is at tax foreclosure right now. The previous owner didn't pay her taxes for the past 3 years at the county level. They acquired it in December. We didn't do the demo until April, even though it was authorized in October. So what we're looking at right now is, the way I explained it back in October, we spent $20,000. The neighborhood is very happy that we addressed that blighted house and that structure's been removed. The county, the way tax foreclosure process works in Michigan, the local unit of government, which is what we would consider, has the first right of refusal to buy it for back taxes. So that would be $13,150. We would be all in on this property at $33,150. In your packet, I shared with you an email from the city's contracted realtor, Reichart Realty. They believe that that property, if split into 2 parcels, which it can be split into 2 parcels per the city zoning ordinance, can be sold for $20,000 a parcel. So our total revenue would be $40,000. I need to know from city council if we're okay passing on this, or if you would like the city to go ahead and purchase this parcel for $13,150. We are trying to get into conversations with the property. Can you turn on the laser and just point? Yeah. Just to the west of this is a pole barn. Yeah. Owned by a Mr. Babcock, longtime resident of the city of Allegan. He uses this pole barn to store items in it. But the way this property lays out, and when I talk to other planners, and actually one of our police officers, Josh Morgan, envisions a row of townhomes or brownstones with Mr. Babcock's property and 201 Race Street. So there's an opportunity to introduce, a new housing type in this area as well. That's more likely if the city acquires the property. If the city doesn't acquire the property, then, you leave that up to, whatever the market will do or what an individual will do, whoever gets the high bid when they buy this lot. So the question from council, the way it states is right now, we've spent $20,000 to demo the house. If we do not purchase it, we know it's $20,000 is what we spent on this property. If we do purchase it, we believe we could sell it and recoup our costs. Questions for staff?
And currently, if it goes for tax auction, is that 20,000 that we paid on the taxes? Or
It is not.
So we'd be out of that even if they sold it for 40,000?
Correct.
Because
Because they purchased it, I mean, they took it over prior to us being able to demo it, or prior to Ace Excavating demoing it.
I think the math works to purchase it as long as we don't sit on it after we purchase it.
We have until July 31st.
Correct. Yeah, the form, which is in your packet as well. So, yep, at the top it says instructions, complete all requested information and submit form for each parcel along with check made payable to the Allegan County Treasurer by July 31st, 2026.
No, I was just, can you explain, Joel, I don't understand at the bottom with the
Okay.
property lines? Is
Yeah,
it
so
property lines or-
unfortunately, the Allegan County GIS, which is the base layer for our property lines, is always off a little bit.
Okay, that's off
And
a
this
lot.
shows, correct. And this shows that parcel going like through the middle of the house. It
Yeah.
does not do that.
Okay, all right, I just wanted to make sure, because I'm like, is that gonna be a problem?
No.
Okay, all right. No, I agree with Carl on this.
Yeah, because there's not even an opportunity for us
To
to be
recoup
made whole
anything.
on any of it
Well,
currently.
What I'm wondering though, if we have one more meeting before the 31st, and why don't, it seems like, shouldn't we have some,
Well, the next thing that will happen is if they sell it for $1,000, we have to pay the county back anyways, the difference that they've already that they've made us whole. Because whenever we do the taxes, they make us whole every time, even if they don't pay their taxes.
Yeah.
So we've been already paid for this property, the taxes. So if they go and sell it for $1,000, they'll take the $1,000 themselves and we'll still owe them
Money,
The taxes that they made us
the
whole
boat
on.
taxes that were made whole.
yeah. I don't see any reason to wait, I mean, why did you want to wait?
oh, I didn't know it would still be,
Yeah.
and it's fair game right now, anyone could buy it then.
We
No.
have, we have first, yeah.
We have first rights of refusal before it goes to auction sale.
And we have first dibs, and if it goes out, it could go for just tax auction, and they could sell it for $1,000, and then if that happens,
After the 31st.
well, as soon as,
Yeah.
if they sell it at an auction, the money that they've made us whole, we'll still end up paying the county back for it.
If we don't buy it, at best, we're out 20 grand, but we could be out more.
Yes. We're always out the 20 grand unless if we buy it and sell it and able to recoup that. But if they sell it for 1,000, we're not getting, we actually owe them back taxes back from their losses, because they made us whole.
Will that be for the 3 years?
Yeah. Correct.
So every year when you pay your taxes, if you don't pay them, the county comes in and makes us whole, the stuff that isn't paid, and then when it goes to tax foreclosure, if they sell it for enough, then we're okay, but if they sell it for less than the back taxes, we owe them back. So I'd rather purchase it, look at selling, dividing it and marketing it, and if somebody wants to come in buy one or both at the same time, great.
All right. Can I get a motion then?
Motion to purchase 201 Race Street for $13,150.
Support.
All right, so moved and supported. Is there any other comments before we vote that council members would?
I would just say that of all the problems that we've had on spending money, this is probably the first one that actually we can see a return potentially. So I kind of like that.
All right.
And I would hope that we get some good, forgot what I was gonna say. Something about, we need good solutions, though, at least several to choose from. You know, if we're talking townhomes, whatever, let's, if we go that far,
Sure.
let's get some good options.
For me, I just sell it at the fair market value. I don't want to be the developer developing it. You know my stance.
Well,
on
that
it, Joel.
too, maybe that's,
If
maybe
it
that's the
covers
best,
the
but-
cost, they could develop townhomes and we can say we're open to that, but
Yeah.
It's up to the
it's up to the
developer.
At
developer.
least we can,
It's a
at least
small
we
enough,
can choose.
it's a small enough development that, yeah, if they come in and just want to buy it, great, buy it. Build townhomes, build two
Pays
condos, build,
taxes.
pays taxes, gets it back on
Yes.
tax roll, gets rid of the blighted property, and hopefully pays us back the 20 grand we just put out.
All right, any other comments? No. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 13E6 is a request to approve a special assessment agreement between the City of Allegan and the Fraternal Order of Eagles 2315.
Thank you, Mayor. You received a report from me in your packet that we are requesting to approve a special assessment agreement between the City of Allegan and the Fraternal Order of the Eagles 2315. The terms of that agreement is a $35,000 assessment spread out over 15 years with a 5% interest. And based on our calculation, that's $2,450 is an annual payment. The few of the board members are in the audience this evening. They received a copy of the assessment agreement on Friday afternoon. They still have to have their full, since it's a fraternal order, the membership has to vote. So they still have to go through that process. However, this evening, you can go ahead and approve it as, you know, from our perspective and our stance. This is not atypical than what we've done in the past. In the mid-2000s, there was a pest issue over in the Herkimer Bond neighborhood, and the city had to do a special assessment to hire a contractor to make private improvements or, you know, private treatments on private property to address the pest issue. We are viewing this as a health and safety issue. Currently, the Eagles sewer lateral is a shared sewer lateral with their property to the north, and their sewer lateral extends onto that property's actual property and beneath their building. And that property owner has requested that that sewer lateral be removed. So it's a little calamity of events that is happening with these two properties.
We would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is a solution for us to move forward.
Good evening. My name is Victor Rose. I'm a trustee for the Eagles.
My name is Josh Reed. I'm worthy president.
We've been in the city 75 years. We have 800 members. A couple, 2 or 3 of you are right up there right now. Yeah, this came on us last fall. I left for the winter and I came back to a little bit of a mess. The contractors that had committed backed out on us. And we've had no less than 7 contractors in and out of that building multiple times. And we finally got 2 of them to come together to team up to do the job. And that's the estimate that Joel has in the packet for you. And we're proceeding to do that. We've yet to get a firm start date from the contractor because the boring contractor, obviously this time of year, is very busy, but they're committed. We've given them $15,000 down, so we're just waiting for them to get started. As soon as we get a formal start date, we'll let the city know, and we'll go from there. We appreciate the offer of the assessment. However, we do got to take it back to the board and have a vote on it, and that'll all be considered. We do have concern about the interest. We was hoping for 0 interest, but we appreciate the offer of the 15-year period as opposed to the 5-year. That's much better and much more capable for us to handle. Anything for us? Nothing?
I don't have any.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve special assessment?
Make a motion to approve the special assessment.
Support.
Okay, it's been moved and supported. Council, any comments? Any
Just a question for staff. Is this issue holding up road construction on phase one?
Correct.
I have a question. The 2,450 annual payment, that's gonna be as, in the form of tax. And is that gonna be in addition to the 5,410 that for the fiscal year that they currently, so is that gonna be,
Yeah, so the
That-
assessment
that'll
is
be
an
added to-
additional payment.
yeah, that'll be
So when we
added.
send the tax bill out, they'll get their tax bill, and then there'll be another line item that's a special assessment.
Okay, just want to be clear of that. Thank you.
Anything else from council members? No? All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
No.
Motion passes. All right, 13E7 is a request to authorize the city manager to plan an employee appreciation cookout for August 14th, 2026 at Mahan Park.
So this is more of an announcement for city council. It's a budgeted line item, employee appreciation or employee recognition. We use that for the anniversary gifts, the 5, 10, 15, 20, 25-year anniversary gifts that we give employees, as well as for the holiday party that happens each year at the Griswold. We would like to host an employee appreciation cookout in August. It's a Friday night. There's been a lot of new faces that have started at for the city of Allegan and both the DPW, water utilities, and a lot of our departments really don't have cross-pollination. So we see this as an opportunity. If people want to come out, they're not going to be forced to come out on a Friday night, but if they want to come out and hang out, we'll throw a grill or two down at Mahan Park. I've already reserved that for city use. And we will, just have a nice little appreciation. And I think it's appropriate, council, if you're free that night, to also come down and see all of the employees, not just the ones that might present at a city council meeting or give you a call.
All right, are you looking for a motion to authorize this, Joel?
Yeah, I am looking for a motion to
Okay.
authorize this.
All right. Would you like
I
to-
would like to make a motion, but I do have something to add to it.
I don't want to stop you, but I think it should be separate from this appreciation for the staff.
After,
Yeah, can we talk about it in our council comments?
can do that.
Okay.
Sounds good.
I don't,
Then I'll make a motion for the employee appreciation cookout.
Support.
okay, it's been moved and supported. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. All right, agenda item number 15, the crowd has dwindled. If you have a public comment, please approach the podium and state your name and address. And I'm thinking there's not going to be one. So I am going to move on to roundtable discussion from council and mayor. Oh, sorry, Joel, would you like to talk?
I-
Sorry, agenda item number 16, communications from the city manager.
Oh, yeah. Assistant City Manager Parker Johnson just reminded me to announce that on Friday, July 24th is our rescheduled date for our America's 250th birthday, otherwise known as July Jubilee. And so we are doing the parade at 5:30. We have a handful of trucks coming in, food trucks coming in, hopefully. We have live music on the riverfront because that's a typical rolling on the river. And the fireworks have all been secured. And so we're going to try this again and to celebrate the birthday with a lot of booms in the air. So, and less rain, as Parker just said in my ear. If you can, please email Deputy Clerk Carol Canales to let her know if you plan on riding in that parade. Councilmember Hooker, thank you for your offer to help set up or tear down or whatever you need help with, whatever help we need that night, that was appreciated. But yeah, and for the community, we look forward to seeing everyone out here, on that day. It's gonna be a very busy weekend. That is our downtown Sip and Shop sales event for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then on Saturday, we have an event down on the riverfront, and we have an event at the Griswold.
And I think it's also
And music at
Sunday.
Mahan.
And is that the farm, or is that a,
The antique,
antique
yep, the antique is that Sunday.
stores are open on Sunday as well?
Yeah, So that weekend, that Friday, Saturday, Sunday is going to be very busy in downtown Allegan, and we're looking forward to it. Second thing, I sent an email this afternoon with an update on the Eastern Avenue road closure. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on the Eastern Avenue road closure. Long story short, I'll have more information for you, hopefully Friday. If not, it'll be on Monday. But that email was pretty clear, in my opinion, on, explaining the situation out there. And then with the downtown project, it's moving forward. We have had a couple hiccups in this process. One was hitting a water line that fed City Hall, so they lost a whole day and a half trying to address that when they took the water out here. We had a water line to the chiller that got nicked at the post office. That took a day and a half. And then the issue with the Eagle Sewer resulted in us not being able to lay down full curb along Chestnut. That's why you have that break of curb. And if you don't have curb, you can't put down a base course of asphalt. We do what we do best, which is pivot, and we kept the project moving. So we had them jump earlier onto the second phase, which is Trowbridge between Walnut and Chestnut, and getting that sewer main in, that water main in. So the project's moving forward. Parker and I fully understand, and we apologize for the inconvenience for the people that are on this section of the road where we thought we were gonna have base layer by June, or the middle of June. But sometimes with construction projects, they don't always work out the way you think they're gonna go. And we appreciate everyone's, willingness to be flexible and listen to what's going on. And then if you aren't following us on Facebook, we are posting a weekly update on Facebook about the construction projects. So that's been going out there. And it's also emailed out to hundreds of people on the email list. That's all I have, Mayor.
Okay. Now we'll go to agenda item 17, roundtable discussion from council and mayor. And Carl, would you like to go first?
Sure. Thanks, Joel and Parker, for getting after the problem with affecting our senior neighbors up the street. And please keep after that. It sounds really, really serious. Thanks a lot.
Melanie?
First, I just want to remind everybody that our chat with council is July 24th at the Trowbridge Plaza, 7:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. So if you have any questions, concerns, positive things to come share with Councilmember Walker and myself, please do so. Also, we had our initial Public Safety Committee meeting on Friday. It was more of just, what are some other municipalities doing? What does that look like? I left a bunch of information with Joel, and I think we forgot to schedule another meeting, but we will have another meeting and see what we're going to do after that.
Nice. Will?
Yes. The first thing that came to mind with the employee cookout at Mahan Park was that it was brought to my attention a year ago or so that we had wanted to do an appreciation for the donors of Mahan Park. And I think that if we're going, I think it's time. If we're going to do the employees of Mahan, we should fulfill either or whatever obligation. I don't know if it was written or just a general obligation. I think we should get that done and scheduled. So that's what I have to say.
All right. Thank you. Patrick?
Yeah, just one question. Regarding 245 Hubbard, the brickwork that was repaired after the damage from the snow plowing, is that complete or is that still in process?
To my knowledge, it is completed. Is there something that?
It's missing like the mortar between the stones, so it looks like it's halfway finished.
Copy. Okay, we'll look into that.
All right, thank you. Charles?
In the interest of time, I'll just thank city staff for everything you guys do and for all the departments that are affected by everything that we're going through with the city. And I want to wish everybody a happy closure of this.
Peter?
A couple items. The DDA would like in our budgeting sessions to have a more clear part of their budget because it's kind of spread out through our budget. And part of the ordinance is that they are supposed to develop a budget to be presented and approved. So I think we should take our time actually when we do our budget to actually look through that since we've been now told that we don't have any control after. The other one is on the DDA, I don't remember taking an oath of office when I was on it for that brief amount of time. And it is also a requirement for them to all take oaths of office. I noticed when I was looking through. With the issue at the 330 Trowbridge, I was trying to look to see how much they have been paying in taxes through the pilot program, but that doesn't report apparently through our BSNA or out to the website.
Okay.
So I was wondering if we could have a report on that because a lot of the people there talked that their rent had gone up and we should see an increase in our 1%. And sometimes I think we need to actually audit these places that get these pilots if they're not actually, just making sure we're getting a good work on it. And then the last one is for the fireworks. I'm assuming that we've already used our email system, our SMS. Do we have water bills still going out before the fireworks, or are those already out for the month?
Those are out.
That's what I thought they're already out.
They're printed on our mapping table right now, so those have to be out.
Then Facebook posts, try to maybe even do it once a week to let people know, because I'm just concerned, because we missed the paper printing, so it didn't get into the paper. I just want to make sure everybody kind of knows the new date and try to make it the most successful, that we can get enough people out again to make it very successful. And
Yeah,
that was it.
we will be in this week's paper.
Yeah, I figured we'd be in this paper, but I'm just like, take
The
advantage of all
cancellation
our other
one,
tools that
yeah.
we have, if SMS, if we want to use that, or email, just let everybody know the new date, because I'm sure that way, we'll still get asked questions about it, but.
I've just got a couple of items. So I did get the text of the new date. And is there any discussion about having extra traffic control? Because what I am hearing is there is a lot of chatter on social media, and without having other communities that may be having events, are we going to have more than normal number of people at it?
Yeah. Yes, that was addressed this week about the additional traffic control. We'll also have a third officer. Typically, we only have 2 city police officers on duty on any regular night. And then we also hire 6 Allegan County Sheriff Reserve officers to patrol the event. There will be a third Allegan City Police officer who will be designated just to the downtown, so that if the other 2 get called out somewhere, we'll still have an Allegan City Police officer in the downtown the night of the 24th.
Okay, good.
Yep.
My other question is there any update, the Thomas Jackson neighborhood and the nature preserve with the bank and fence installation?
No update for you this evening. I'll reach out to Jeff. I know I gave Jeff the go-ahead, and he said he's working with the Southwest Michigan Land Conservancy, but I'll find out where they are exactly.
Yeah, because I know, that is a popular spot, and for the 3rd of July, we're seeing more and more non-neighborhood people come up there. And so there were people on the bank, I mean, not on the bank, but, so I just was curious. Okay, that is, I think, it for tonight. So at 7:48, I will adjourn.